I know some people will trickle in as the call goes on, so thank you for joining us. All right, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome to our Montessori Town Hall. We host these every single week throughout the school year as a space for Montessori leaders and administrators to just come together and discuss various school leadership topics. We usually talk about all things administration, growing your enrollment, school leadership, parent communication, and parent education. And today we're having a town hall that is focused around open house strategies within the Montessori space, ideas from Montessori open houses. I think every year we have a new set of families joining us. They all have different expectations of us. Things change, trends change. So it's always great to have these ongoing conversations within the Montessori space to see how we can better meet the needs of our prospective families. I'm excited because we're joined today by Rupali Sharma. She is an amazing community member here at Montessori Thrive. She's contributed by doing a lot of our town halls, and she runs her own schools in Massachusetts, the tech schools. And she's going to be leading today's conversation, but it's very much a collaborative call. So please feel free to unmute yourself or use the chat to share questions, comments, ideas. The more you share, the more helpful this call is for everyone. So I definitely encourage your participation throughout the call. I'll go ahead and hand it over to Rupali, and I want to make one more note. I will be sharing a PDF resource in the chat, so keep an eye out. I'll share it shortly. It's just kind of a ultimate guide for open houses in the Montessori space, so you can download that and hopefully it has some helpful strategies for you. All right, Rupali, I'll hand it over to you.
Well, thank you so much, Camila. I am delighted to be here. In today's competitive educational landscape, Montessori schools need to be effective in engaging prospective families and be able to highlight the unique benefits of our Montessori approach. So my hope is that today in our presentation, we'll have some creative ideas about how we can market our schools and welcome parents into our schools. I think the more people come to the schools, the more conversions you would have. And we've done a few innovative things at our school, and we found some success with those. So I'd like to share those with you today. Let me start with sharing my screen. So I'm Rupali Sharma. I'm the head of school. I'm the founder and director at the TEC Montessori Schools. We started about 9 years ago, and when I started our school, we started with 4 students, and we had to get the word out. So we were looking at what are the different ways we can do this. My background is as a Montessori student in India. I went to a Montessori school, and when my son was born, I decided to be a stay-at-home mom and do Montessori co-op with our neighbors and people around in our community. And when my son went to college, I started a Montessori school with a focus on STEM education. So, with my background in architecture and in Montessori, I've been able to develop some programs at our school that are unique. And one of the things that we do at our Montessori school is highlight those unique programs. What makes your school different? What makes your school the one that would be the right fit for your families? So today in our conversation, we'll look at what can you do to make a lasting impression on the parents who visit your school? What are different ways that you can showcase the Montessori difference at your school? And how do you connect with parents? What strategies do you have, and what strategies can you add to connecting with the current parents and prospective parents? One of the main things about the open house events is also retention. retaining parents that are already there. It's easier to retain them than to get new families. And as Camilla said, we'll have some resources to share with you. There'll be resources along through the slideshow too, um, so you can look through that. So the first one that I would say is think about different open house events. When we look at our school year calendar, all open house events don't have to be the same. We recently hosted a pancake breakfast for our middle school program, for our upper elementary and middle school program. And that was an open house event, but it was completely hosted by the students. The upper elementary students and the middle school students made pancakes. And we had an early morning, so 8:30 to 9:30, just a short open house. And all the students wore aprons, and they were the chefs and the servers. They were also the presenters. So we could say, we could give them a caption, "Meet our stars." And when the parents came, the students had set up the classroom beautifully with tablecloths, with flower arrangements, plates, everything was laid out in a Montessori style. And the parents could come in and they were just wowed by that first impression. Then the students, before they served breakfast, the class officer welcomed all the parents, and the teachers barely said anything. It was just the students putting on the show. The students then, as they made pancakes and served pancakes, students took turns to showcase different elements of the classroom and of their project. So they highlighted their robotics projects or their capstone projects, their grammar and math, history, geography, science. So it was a completely different kind of a breakfast. We invited our third graders to come for the upper elementary breakfast, so it was part of their step up journey. We also included parents whose children would be rising into upper elementary. So it's early on as they are looking at where do they want their child to go. So it was a nice community meeting, and we made it part of the day. We didn't have to make it as a separate event, and the parents could come in and walk through the hallways, see the other classrooms in action, and then spend a good amount of time there. We, at 9:30, we thought parents would be ready to go, but parents lingered on to network. And we have a special area, we call it the networking nook, where parents can hang out and chat and meet. So it was just a wonderful event for them to see the school, meet with the parents. In addition, we offer weekly tours. I guess many schools do that. We call it Take a Tour Tuesday, and parents can come on Tuesdays. These are for prospective parents. These are usually uh, customized to that individual family that signs up for a tour. We rarely get more than 3 families for the weekly tours, but we can really uh, talk to the parents about their child. Our office administrator calls the parents ahead of time before they come for the tour and gets some background information about the family and about the child. So when they come in, we can match them with the teacher or with an administrator who can answer their questions. Then we have our traditional open house events, which are on the weekends. They are 2 hours long, and those are more formal. We host those events with, a focus on all our program levels. And teachers are their parent. We have student ambassadors, parent ambassadors. We also host events just for activities like our after school program or our summer program, and highlight those events. But again, it's bringing people from the community. And the way we do that is by hosting maker fairs. So in December, we host a holiday workshop, and we might invite our community partner to join us. for showcasing their program. And so you're bringing in people from different different areas, not just the mailing list that we have, but we also have people from the community partners network that join us. And then we do some program level focused open house events throughout the year. So we sprinkle them between November through April. We focus just on our children's house program, and we call it the preschool program only because it's easier for non-Montessori families to understand what it is. And once they are here, we can introduce the Montessori language to them. We have a separate open house just for kindergarten families, because students who go through daycares or through other preschool programs, we partner with those uh, local preschools and or Montessori schools that serve the primary and the children's house program, and invite them for our um, elementary program open house event. And so how do we do this? We actually plot all our events when we meet strategically for our strategic plan. We plot all these events on our calendar from September through June. And that way we can look at the big picture and we can say, okay, which events are going to be formal, which events are going to be during school hours, which events are going to involve students, and we can see how that rhythm, or there's a cadence to the open house events. Some of them are community events, some of them are more classroom focused events. And then by doing this strategic plan for the whole year, we can say, okay, how are the parents who are currently enrolled, engaged with the students, with the school, and with the teachers? Throughout the year, at the beginning of the year, we have events where uh, parents can come in and network with us. And then it becomes a little more formal. We invite them for classroom observations. This engagement throughout the year, we also invite our teachers to participate in this, because parents want to know how their child is doing throughout the year. So we teachers send out specific emails to parents highlighting how their child is doing with the Montessori materials, not just how the child is doing in the classroom, but why the Montessori material is benefiting their child, whether it is in reading, writing, math. The teacher will showcase 2 or 3 pictures, because when a parent sees their child's picture engaged and focused, they can see, oh, this system is really making a difference for them. And so that plays a big part in retaining the students for the following year. For new families, we host various community events, and we also invite them for our after school programs, so they can come and try our after school program. That's one way to get a foot in the door and see, is this the kind of environment we want for our child? And when they come to drop off and pick up their student, they can see what the school is like. They can see how the school feels, and often we can convert those families to full-time enrolled students the following year or in the middle of the year. And as I said before, you build on what you have. If you have community partners, so we work with several community partners. We have the art museum that we work with. We work with a children's house art program. They do drumming, music, and art in a STEM focused manner. So they are aligned with our mission. We do a drop in toddler program where we are trying to build a toddler community. And before enrolling them, we just have drop in for an hour and come and see our music program, or come and see our fitness program, come and see our STEM program. It's just an exploration. It's a parent and child drop in program. So that's another way of getting people in the door. And when our students showcase their activities, like we have the STEAM fair in February, we have a poetry recital in the spring, we have concerts, a holiday concert, and end of the year concerts. So we invite the larger community to come. We invite prospective parents from our mailing list. We invite them to come and visit because they can see the students how they carry themselves, how they speak, and how they perform. And so it's a good way for parents to see. They can imagine their child on the stage. They can imagine their child who was shy being able to do public speaking. So those are some non-academic qualities that parents look for.
Rupali, can I ask you a question before you move on?
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, I'm assuming that the open house is geared primarily for prospective parents, right?
We have few that are for prospective parents, and then few that are for our current families, enrolled families. For example,
Okay.
the breakfast is a great
Okay.
example. The children in the classroom are cooking, and parents are excited about that, so they join us. So those are the enrolled families. We have work with your child morning, so we invite parents to come in and work with their child, so they get first-hand experience with the materials, and they see how the classroom functions. So those are for enrolled families, and then the others are for prospective families.
So, for example, the pancake breakfast that you have, as you said, is primarily geared towards the elementary
Yes.
program, right?
Yes.
Now, when that happens, or even when you have like regular weekly events, doesn't that disrupt the regular cycle of the classroom, or I mean, have you find that to be an issue?
So that's a very good point, Wali. That's why we put it on a calendar beforehand so that all teachers are prepared and they're aware. So one of the things that our elementary students do from third grade and up is that they participate in a classroom cafe. So once a month, the students cook for their classmates and teachers, and they set up the tables and they prepare breakfast for them. So it's part of their classroom routine. One of those breakfasts, we invite the parents. So it doesn't throw them off routine completely, but yes, it's an additional responsibility for the teachers and the students. And then for the weekly tours, um, those do not disturb the classroom. So I give a tour, or one of the administrator gives a tour, and we walk through the school. We have a set, like it's a program. We talk about our mission, our philosophy, walk through the classrooms, show them the different program levels, and I meet with the parents in a different room, in a networking room, so that it doesn't disturb the class.
The final question I had was for the prospective parents. You may have mentioned this, but I might have missed it. Is how do you go about reaching the outside, the prospective parents? I mean, what's your mechanism of doing that?
I will come to that
Okay,
in
that's
a
fine.
bit.
That's fine.
But yes, that is a very good question, because the more people come into your school, the more people will know about you and there'll be interest in enrolling. So we'll come to that.
Okay.
Great. So at the open house, you can do different things. We've tried many different ideas, and we really like these. We are a STEAM focused school. So we try to build on the name of our school. Our school is called Think, Explore, Create. So we have think tank tables where you can have a table with a topic you want to highlight. So during fall, we might bring in leaves and have a Montessori material for parents to identify what those leaves are. And in the classroom, they can see the children are doing activities with the leaves. They may be laminating and hanging them for an art project, or they may be exploring them under the microscope or with a magnifying glass. So teachers can showcase those student projects, and prospective families can get a taste of a Montessori material. We also have these little bags that we create, and they have this label Think, Explore, Create, and it says, think what you can design with 15 marshmallows and 10 toothpicks. Explore ideas and designs for your creation. Create your unique structure. So this can be like a little take take home bag, or they can, if the child wants to build it over there, they can um, they can build something right there, and they can get a taste of your program. So think about the name of your school and what you can do to play with that name. We also have done curriculum corners where parents can look at the curriculum and how the Montessori curriculum benefits the child. And there we, you can, we've done things like just taking the binomial cube and looking at it in children's house as a puzzle. Elementary, looking at the square and the cube, the mathematical equations. And then in upper elementary and middle school, looking at exponential exponents and showing them that journey through one material. So you could take the pink tower and show them how you can, in children's house, they're just building it. But then in lower elementary, again, you can do squares of numbers, cubes of numbers. You can use the same show that with the bead cubes from the bead cabinet and see how they align. And some parents, for them, it's just that aha moment. Oh, the square of 4 is 16. I get it. I wish I had learned it this way when I was in school. And showcasing those aha moments, just one thing, and then it opens up. Or maybe the fractions, whatever you and your faculty decide you want to showcase, you could use that. Another thing, I just talked about networking Nook. We recently moved to a larger building, and so we have a dedicated space for parents to meet. Now, when we were in a smaller space, we didn't really have that. And so we would meet either in my office, or we had created a little space in the hallway where it was just warm and cozy with some plants and books and some soft seating where parents could sit and enjoy a cup of coffee or tea, and they could network with each other. And, for refreshments, we usually just have clementines. A bowl of clementines is enough. We don't have to prepare anything, we don't have to pack. It's clean, nobody is going to get infected. And a bottle of water. And what our office administrator does, she puts TC labels on the water bottles. So that's another way to kind of highlight your program. But the networking Nook has been just so successful because it's word of mouth. And parents want to hear stories from other parents. We invite our parent ambassadors, and they usually on their own, they write up something to share, and they'll read or they'll talk.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Oh, that's my Siri talking. But it helps build connection. Parents feel that it's a shared experience in the community, and they can ask questions. It also highlights the diverse perspectives that we have. So they're not just hearing the story from me or the teachers, but they're hearing from other families and what engages those families. So there's a larger social engagement, and there's more social proof. They can say, oh, this family tried it, and so it'll work for us. So if you just create a space, a safe space for people to talk. We also highlight some videos, and you can see them on our website. We collect a lot of testimonials throughout the year. So if a parent says to me in the car line, oh, I'm so excited because my child just gets up in the morning and comes to school in the previous school, my child was struggling to go to school or was complaining, I say to them, oh, can you send me a quick email about this? And may I put this on the website for prospective parents? And often people say yes, and that those 2 lines or 3 lines are good enough to get testimonials to post on your website. You can also do short videos of your parents and alumni, just um, showcasing what they like, what was their experience. You can give them 2 prompts. You can say, share your experience at your school, or one curricular area that you really particularly liked. And so Wali, to your point, how do we spread the word? Um, there are so many, we used to do print advertisements, and we've totally stopped doing those because we haven't got any traction with the print advertisers. What we do for printing is these yard signs. So the yard signs definitely help. We go around town and we post our yard signs. They seem to be attracting a lot of traffic, and make it in a colorful, I mean, your school colors, so people can see the same colors on your logo, and when they see the color on the streets, they know it's that color. And highlighting. So what we're doing is we just change. We have a sticker that just goes on the date, and we use the same signs again and again um, to highlight. And then I think, Camila, you had done a presentation on using AI.
Yeah.
We use AI quite a bit. I mean, to me, it's like my virtual assistant. I just say, we have an open house about the Halloween Maker Fair, and I want to highlight our grand opening and invite people. Create 10 social media posts about this with highlighting different areas of the TEC school's mission, and it'll go scrape the web and get my mission statement and find, and we'll create 10 different posts, and it'll also give you ideas to post different types of pictures. And so you can just have fun with that. It takes no more than 10 minutes to type that and get a few social media posts. And then if you're working with Nido, you can work with them on posting them, or you can post them yourself. Doing ads, I think that was another presentation that Camila did recently, the Google Ads. That's another way to get the word out. Website banner. If on your website have a pop-up or a banner that highlights your open house and links to your admissions page, so that people can schedule a tour or sign up for the open house. An email campaign, again, through if you're using Nido, you have your email list. Use AI, create your emails, say, give me 5 different newsletters to invite people to the open house. And in one newsletter, highlight a curriculum, in another, highlight our Montessori approach. In the third one, highlight our community experience, our caring teachers. Pick whatever topic you want and create those newsletters. I've said this before, the hour of power. Just sit for an hour and say, today I'm going to create these newsletters and schedule them on Nido Marketing. And there you have it. And partner with, so we partner with our community partners, and we ask them to push our blogs or our flyers through their website. So, or their Instagram or their social media. And that has certainly helped us at least get after school students and summer program students. We also do these flyers. We make, and I bet all of you have flyers for your open house events that you can post. One of the things we've tried is hosting a pre-open house event, and it's like a drop-in, just come in for an hour and get a taste of our programs. So we might even call it a taste of TEC, and people come in and they can work on some activity with the teacher. So if it's the fitness teacher, they'll get to do a fitness program, meet with me, and then say, come and learn more about our program. So some parents need to come in more than once, and this is one way of having not a full blown open house, but a short, come and get a taste of our program. As I said, you can do giveaways. You can make, we have mazes and word search and things like that for children to take home with them. We do virtual tours. You can create those webinars on your website. And so highlighting the big difference, I'm sorry about the pixelated image. I didn't realize it was so pixelated. But highlighting the difference between traditional and Montessori, I think that is such a big, stark difference that you can have on your website. You can put a white paper and have that as a handout for parents to take with them. Another thing that for open house you can highlight are the carefully prepared classroom environments, and how those environments are truly different from what students get in a traditional daycare or a traditional setting. I think I had a recent visitor to my school for an open house, and took them a long time to commit to Montessori, and they had to come again and again and again. But once their daughter started Montessori, and she's 4 and is doing cursive and goes home and says, I worked on the sandpaper letter, he said, oh, you guys are not marketing enough. You're not telling your story enough, because the daycare that she went to was a high-end daycare with, beautiful classrooms, beautiful setup. But all she would come home and tell them is, I played and I sang songs and I made this craft and that craft. But there's so much more that Montessori offers. And we have to make it a point to highlight those unique learning experiences that we offer. Also highlighting teachers. I was attending another head of school event where one of the suggestions the presenter made was to frame teachers' certificates and have those displayed in the classroom. And the idea is, you go to a doctor's office, you see their certificates. In our classrooms, we need to highlight that our teachers are Montessori credentialed. They're not just college or high school students that you probably mostly see in a daycare setting. We have a few daycares around our area where uh, the teachers are not necessarily fully certified, and it's not a program where children can methodically learn to become confident learners and independent young people. So highlight your teachers. And then you put your name and then just say, we welcome you. We offer a warm and inclusive environment. Whatever your school's philosophy is, highlight that in all of your publications. And then also invite people to share their success stories at your school. Invite parents, and then you can have prompts for parents to share so that they're not put on the spot. And you can also have some fun. You can do a microphone moment, or you can have, we do a fan event, so Friends and Ambassadors Network, where it's a nice evening with wine and cheese, and parents, teachers, administrators, we all gather together, and everybody gets up and shares their favorite stories about their child's success at the school. So it builds that momentum, it builds that environment of community, and and helps parents form a better bond with your school. So as I said, creating a community, but also giving them something tangible to take home. And some tangibles are like a flyer about your Montessori curriculum community, just highlighting what your school is, what the benefits of Montessori education. And I think, if you go through Nido resource page, you'll find these handouts. You can just download them, make them your own. Um, you can have free ebooks on your website for parents to download. Montessori maze, we do this. Children absolutely love that. We put the maze in our school colors and it's printed on a cardstock. So children absolutely love doing that. Some will start doing it right there. And parents want to see that excitement. In every handout, include your contact information. And then one handout I find particularly helpful is the frequently asked questions. Think about, what are people asking you? Are they asking you about homework, about the school timings, about the school calendar, or the discipline policy, or are you a special needs school? And we've had to tell people we are not a special needs school. We are not equipped for that. We are able to take in students with IEP or 504 plans, but we are a Montessori school. And so differentiating you as a unique school, um, use the guides for those. You can also create a downloadable guide on your website. When parents click on information, just thanking them for their interest in your school, and then maybe you have a free ebook to showcase some of the Montessori benefits. And I listed them here. I'm sure all of you know these, but I feel we can't. Sometimes we get so comfortable with these, we feel that, oh, yeah, this is how naturally education should be. But it is not obvious to people who are not from the Montessori background. And so, emphasizing the core principles of the prepared environment, um, freedom within limits, what the sensitive periods are, and auto education just as an autonomous learner, what their child can do. And feel free to type in the chat if you already have a free ebook for parents to download when they visit your admissions page or your website. You can also create them with Nido specifically for your school. And so highlighting your school's unique programs, we are a STEM school, so we highlight those. We also do Nature's Classroom, and we have a summer program. Perhaps you are a language immersion school. Whatever is your jam, just showcase that. Include parent testimonials. I can't tell you how many people say, oh, we saw your testimonial on Yelp or on Private School Review or on your website or on Facebook. And parents truly respond to those testimonials. So collect them and showcase them. And then have a call for action. Scheduling a tour, attending an event, or downloading an application. Make those all very easy for parents to do that. And you can have these call to actions right there. We, for our application process, we set up a computer in the networking room. We set up a few computers so that they can just go ahead and start the application process while they are here, or create their parent portal while they are here. And so you're not losing those families while they are with you at the open house. I can't stress enough the power of student ambassadors. They, even a 3-year-old ambassadors, can show parents how they are learning to read and write, to classify objects. Some of them love the peace corner and they'll just show the peace corner. But isn't that beautiful? How many schools have a peace corner where if they're upset, they can go ahead and sit there, take some time, look at the frog tank or whatever you have in your peace corner. It also gives students a chance to showcase their leadership qualities. We had a student who was a third grader, and there was a prospective kindergarten student in the open house. And the third grader took him for a tour, and the third grader was genuinely interested in history. And the two boys connected over history because this young kindergartner was also interested in history, and they spent a lot of time hanging out in the library, looking at books, talking about history. And when they came back, the parents were so happy to see this child who was already engaged, and that just leads to enrollment. It converts very quickly. For our older students, we have our entrepreneurship projects that they work on, and they can highlight the work that they do. So they can talk about how they take an idea and design an activity, a game that they create on the laser cutter or on 3D printer, and then they can show the game, and they can have the game right there for people to play and to see that, oh, 7th and 8th graders can create this. They can use the tools. They speak so well. They can write well. They know how to think about finances and how much the material cost. They can see the whole journey from 3 years old to 8th grade and say, wow, that if that's what I want my child to do, I really need to start when they are 3 years old. You want to show them that journey that their child is going to take throughout your school. And then the portrait of a graduate. I think this sums it up for all families when they see their what the graduates do, how they are confident and resilient. Our graduates are very, open and eager to share their stories. When they come in, they may not be as confident and proficient in their academics, but over the years, they develop those. And so, how do your graduates or how do your alum showcase themselves? I would say maybe you create a flyer about your graduates, maybe you create a small video about them, or you have a page on your website for your graduating students. And even if your program is a primary program, you can showcase what the kindergarten students leave with. We recently had an IP evaluation for one of our kindergarten students, and the standards in Montessori are higher than traditional schools. And every time the evaluator would say, oh, well, this child already meets the standard, so what kind of a disability are you talking about? And, we had to say, okay, yes, our standards are higher, but socially, emotionally, he still needs that work. And so, it's amazing for parents to see that a kindergarten student can do multiplication and addition and subtraction. They can read and they can write, and that they are well composed. They can carry a tray and prepare their own snack. I think all those should be highlighted as you portray your graduates for incoming families. Invite them to come and talk to prospective families at your open house events. So have a panel discussion for your parents. Maybe you have an open house where alumni and parents come in and do a panel discussion. That's a little more formal than just having parents come and talk. But think about what would work for your school. And so with that, I think I will pause here for questions or discussions. Maybe you have tried things at your school that would benefit the whole group, or perhaps you have some questions that I could answer.
We have a couple questions just to start off in the chat here. A question from Lori. Are the drop-in programs, I think those are the ones you mentioned more towards the start, are they done with the current students, or are these kind of their own events?
So these are their own events, and we do a 6-week program. So drop in on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 9:30 to 10:30. It's for parent and toddlers. So parent and child program. So we are not taking care of the students. The parent is there, and there's a focus. These are for prospective parents to come see, and we do have a charge for it. So we charge the parents to come and participate in our music and drumming program, or our fitness program, or our music program. And so the teacher does lead the program, but it's geared towards bringing people in and getting a taste of the school for 6 weeks. And they get to meet other families, and they get to see the rest of the school in action while they're passing through the hallways going to the drop-in program.
Another question here for the yard signs. Are you allowed to post them anywhere, or do you usually need permission to post them?
So that's a very good question. We did a lot of research. We found that our town allows 2 sizes only. So if you go to your town hall, you can find out what size yard signs are allowed in your town. So stick to those sizes. And what we do is you cannot post signs in any private property. And if you're posting them on a sidewalk or like along a sidewalk at an intersection, make sure that somebody is not taking care of that community property, because they don't like it, and they'll remove your sign. And these signs cost quite a bit. So you want to put them at busy intersections. Look at your own commute and see where people are getting on and off the highway, where there are busy streets connecting drive-through residential neighborhoods, and where there are cross intersections. You can post them there. We actually, our office administrator, she went around and spoke with restaurant owners, coffee shops, where we see a lot of activity, and just requested them and said, can we post this for a week or 2 weeks? And most people will say, yes, just go ahead and post it outside. And you post it, send them a nice handwritten thank you card if you've asked permission, and they've, allowed you to do it. And invite them, highlight their program. You can even say, all right, we can keep your menu at our school, or we can order some snacks sometimes for our staff meeting. Somehow engage your community, get to know them, network with them.
I want to talk about a point that you brought up, Rupali, which was using email marketing and things like that to increase attendance. I know Montessori, we are not salesy people. We don't really normally use more traditional sales methods, but I urge all of you to consider email marketing because it is free. It's free to email market. It doesn't cost you any money. It's not like running Google ads or anything like that. So if budget is definitely a constraint for you, or something that you might not want to push too much, email market. I was talking to Elizabeth, who is our executive director here at Nido Marketing. She's not on the call today, but she was saying that she suggested an email marketing campaign for a school who was running an open house, and they previously were not seeing a good turnout. And they saw 5 new registrations after they sent out an email campaign. So just don't, and that's 100% free. All they had to do was sit down and just put together, a little email nurture, and you can use AI to do that and to help you word everything. I urge you guys to watch the recording I included here if you haven't already seen it, and just use ChatGPT. It's free. There's a lot of free tools out there to help you, because it's a lot of work to do all of that. So I definitely suggest that. And if anyone has had any experience doing that, please feel free to share or let us know if it was helpful to use AI or to use email marketing to promote your town halls. I mean, open houses.
Yes, Renee.
Yeah, about that, in terms of the email marketing, are these emails that we're getting because we're collecting it through the website, or how, if we don't yet have a huge database, you just start with that and keep building?
Yes. So when we started, we had 4 students. So we started with those 4 students and all our friends. So teachers' friends, my friends, our community partners, anybody we knew, we just put them in the email list. So you just create a spreadsheet, give it to Nido, they'll put it in your email campaign, label them as your friends and families and your current families as a separate, tag them separately. And then you can, for your open house events, share it with all your friends and community members that because you have to grow that base. And to grow that base, you can post to all your friends and say, would you, and we would always add a sentence, please share with somebody or the other thing we do is we take these flyers and we just cut them in half, so 2 on a page, so it's not, and we stack them in stacks of 5, and we give them to every family at the car line, and we say, take 5, give them to people in your neighborhood. One thing I didn't mention, we moved to a new location, and we, for our last open house event, we put together a little welcome package, a small a plastic bag with our flyer and a pumpkin and a note from me, a personalized note from me. And we gave them to everybody in our neighborhood in their driveway. Some people we met and we chatted with them. We had over 100 people who attended that event. So it was really wonderful to see that turnout.
And Renee, to continue, to kind of answer your question on collecting email information, if you're doing it manually, that's 100% fine as well. If you have a spreadsheet, if you have any type of event, just send it to everybody, even enrolled parents, because they might forward it to a friend or someone in the community. And if you're looking for ideas on how to implement like more ways to get email on your website. Again, you do not have to have a website through us to implement this, but I'm just going to show you here on our sample school website. This is probably going to be the biggest game changer when it comes to getting more emails, because building your email list is important. So if you're not already on your website, I really recommend gating your tuition. So build out a landing page, kind of say, here's what you're going to go with Montessori, here's what you're not, and then ask parents for their email address so that you can email them the tuition request. So that will help you build that list. You don't have to, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, we do currently have that, and we have our website with you.
Okay.
So what I don't think we've been doing is sending out to this group the announcements for open houses. So that's where we're missing the mark. But thank you, that's very helpful.
Definitely utilize that email list. And even if you think that parent is lost or they don't want to hear from you, just continue to email to them until they unsubscribe, because they have that option. Parents are used to the email marketing. So just send a blast.
I have heard this from various marketing people, that people need to hear about you at least 7 times in different ways before they convert. And so, before an open house event, every 3 days or 2 days, we just send something. Here's a little tidbit. Did you know about this? And AI is so helpful. I used to anguish over these email letters and trying to find the right words, but now it's like 10 minutes and you type in and say, this is what I want, and you get it.
Rupali, I have 2 questions for you. One is with respect to your marketing and reaching out your prospective parents. In your experience, has there been one specific mechanism that has really been most effective for you, or it has been basically a mix of whole bunch of things?
It's a mix, Vali. It's a mix. And what we found is that if something works, stick to that. Like do it again and again and again. For example, a maker fair from our very first year, that is the most successful event. So we do it in October for Halloween. We do it in the winter for the holidays, and we do it again in April for springtime. And we highlight different things at different times. But those are free events, and we put in a lot of effort to make sure that parents have a great time with activities and things like that. But yeah, if it works, do it often, and then try everything, because you never know what medium is going to hit which parent, is going to speak to that parent.
Now, with regard to alumni that you have, it looks like I got a sense that you stay connected with your alumni. Am I right about that?
Yes.
And if you do that, I mean, what is the mechanism with which you do that? You just send them notifications and newsletters, or there's some other ways you keep connected with them? What are the different ways you do that?
Yes, so we send them our updates often. They are on a mailing list, and you tag them as your alumni group and keep them in touch. Keep them in the loop with what's happening. We also have an alumni page on our website, so we seek stories from them. And then we invite our alumni to participate in our events, the holiday concert, the spring tea, poetry, because those children have done those events and they're very dear to them. And when they come, we have them join us on stage so they can see, how big these boys or girls have grown over the years. The other thing that we do, because we have an entrepreneurship program for our middle school students, our alumni come back to do more. We have an alumni currently, he's working on doing a cooking class for students after school. And that's his journey as an alumni, giving back. We also have another alumni. She works with our after school teachers to help them. And that's part of her Love in Action community service project as a junior in high school. So give them opportunities to come back, say we need you to help out in after school. We need you to help out making materials. We have a volunteer who works with us to make materials, and we help them with giving them professional development hours, including them in our staff meetings to build up their Montessori knowledge.
Does the high school actually give you professional development hours for activities like these?
They have volunteer hours. That's a requirement for high schools for graduation in many high schools. And so they can come and get those hours with us.
All right. Any other questions, comments about open houses before we wrap up?
Well, looks like Rupali is doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
I think if
We're
you're looking
trying
for,
everything, Vali. We are trying everything.
no, I know, but so if you're looking for a sabbatical, I think I may need to talk to you.
Okay, great. We have, I'll keep that in mind.
I have one quick question before we conclude the call. It can feel a little overwhelming because these are all such amazing ideas. It's like, where do I even begin? Where do I even begin to incorporate these? Right now our school is we're very grateful that it's been around for a while. So at this point we've built word of mouth and have waiting lists. And so we're not currently doing things like open houses, but I think where we're lacking is just allowing more transparency for our current families to see what an amazing education that their kids are getting and educating them more on Montessori. So I just wanted to ask, of all these great ideas, if you have a good starting point of like what a school has to do starting tomorrow that has just been one of the best outcomes that you all do for not only your current families, but things ebb and flow. And if we are kind of needing more tours and more enrollment, if there's just one, you have to do this if you're needing to build your wait list. Like maybe it's simply an open house. Like, do you have a starting point for either direction for a school to focus on?
First, congratulations on being where you are. My goal is to get there with our school. So congratulations on that. I would say classroom observations. Invite your current families to come in and observe their children in the classroom. Nothing is more powerful for them than sitting there quietly and seeing the dance in the classroom, how wonderful it is. And, you know, create a routine so they're not just sitting there looking at things, but give them purpose. Look at the materials, look at the children. What do you notice? What, have some questions for them to focus on. And then I would say, Pepsi and Coca-Cola, they never stop marketing just because they're successful, right? They keep marketing all the time. So talk to your team and see what makes sense for your school. Is it an open house? Is it a tour during the weekday? What would work for you? Because schools will go through those cycles, and like you said, the ebb and flow of enrollment. And you don't want to be caught with not having people in your funnel. So see how you can do. Maybe you may not need to be as aggressive as we are right now. And I will also say, we didn't start with this grand plan from day one. We built it over 9 years. And now we find ourselves kind of in the momentum and benefiting from that momentum. But every year we've tweaked it and we've said, oh, this didn't work. Take that out, add one more. You have to be quick in iterating those, what worked, what didn't work. What didn't work, take it off, move forward. Don't waste your time on what didn't work.
Thank you.
The challenge that we have is that we still have more work to do in terms of building a community, in a sense that getting parents coming in, seeing what the school is doing, what the children are doing. If you can do more of those activities, maybe it cannot be like a whole school-wide thing, but maybe at a smaller level, if you can do that, you will automatically build the community where the parents are more involved and more invested in the school rather than just kind of paying tuition and dropping the children off.
Yes. And Wally, that's a good topic for another day. But I would say one thing we're doing is we're offering positive discipline courses. And yesterday we were almost towards the end of the course, and these parents have been together. It's a small group, but they've been together for these past several weeks. And now they know about each other. They've seen each other in the school, and now they become friends. And people are now online, so they feel comfortable talking on Zoom and being on Zoom. And you should just see what brings people together, because school is a community. And you're right. Once we build a community, people stick around.
I did, by the way, forward your positive discipline seminar that you had mentioned to our teachers.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm not sure how many of them took up. Probably they just ignored it, unfortunately.
That's okay. We will be having them again in the spring. And as I said, it takes 7 times for people to hear it before they commit to it.
Thank you so much, Rupali. And thanks for everyone who joined and asked questions and shared ideas. It makes these calls so much more interesting when you guys ask these great questions, and hopefully you found it helpful. I'll be posting the recording to our YouTube channel, so if you want to reference anything we discussed, you can always find it there. A special thank you to Rupali, who has now led several of our town halls, and it's always great to hear from administrators who are in the moment, administrators who can share their experience, their ideas and their wisdom with us. So thank you so much, Rupali.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Next week, we're going to be talking about specifically our Nido Marketing CRM. So that's more geared towards our current CRM clients. And we're just going to be kind of going over how to use everything. It's kind of a tutorial to answer your questions about the CRM software, because we know it can be complex. So if you're a CRM client, it might interest you, and we'll post the recording to that as well. So if you want to take any notes from that, That'll be our talk next week. I will not be here next week. I'll be in Toronto at the CCMA conference. So if you'll be there in person, say hello to me. I'll be back in December. But until then, everyone take care and have a great rest of your Thursday. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.